telling you the truth. Julie.
Okay, I am here with Joe Cornet and Alexander Nevsky, who is a good buddy of mine for last couple of years, and we're talking about the new film Night of the Caregiver. I absolutely love this movie. I mean, it was so fast paced. It had great scares and all around a great movie.
Thank you very much. We saw the review. Thank you. We're glad you liked it.
Yes.
Thank you.
So why did you guys decide to make this your first horror film? Where did this all begin?
Well, the idea for this began sometime after we finished Gunfight at Rio Bravo, the production. We were in post-production. And Alexander had a script, which he came to me, and the script had been written at least a year before by Craig Hammond, long before I met this gentleman. And he said to me, how would you feel about doing a horror film? I said, well, I guess I'd be interested, but my caveat is no zombies. I don't have anything more to say, nor do I think anybody has anything more to say about zombies. As much as I love zombies, I even played a zombie once, but so he said, well, no, it's nothing like that. And he said it's about the paranormal, and so I read it, and it's great. It really jumped out at me right away, and we just went from there. And we made some tweaks to it a little bit, but we rolled it into production as our second film together, and with Alex producing, and we had a marvelous time shooting it and cutting it. Another great music score by the great Sean Murray. And everything came together. Magnificent Natalie Denise Sperl is in it. Of course, Eileen Dietz from The Exorcist and many, many other things. And Eric Roberts. So it just all kind of came together, and I'm really pleased with it. And I'm very pleased that you liked it. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And I got to ask, Alex, I got to ask, what was it like producing this horror film on yours?
You know, to be honest with you, first of all, I will just repeat exactly the thing I said before we started this recording, because for me, it was a debut in a horror genre. For Joe, it was a debut. Mm-hmm. And we weren't afraid to try something new. And that's, in my opinion, what your audience, all those geeks out there should understand. You shouldn't be afraid, because I am a geek. I was a skinny kid, in Eastern Europe when I started everything, right? Mm-hmm. Joe was you also were a geek, right? I was a movie geek. Please show it again, what you have right here.
There's my original camera.
Check that out.
Original. Yes, from what? From 1970s?
No, I was 15 when I had this camera, and I went all over the place shooting just about everything I could, and had a marvelous time doing it. And yeah, so I was a geek. So this is a couple of geeks here,
Not actually a couple. And I don't have a camera. I have a biceps right here for all the geeks out there. Don't forget to go to the gym today as soon as we done with that show. But we have another geek right there on the wall. It's beautiful Marilyn Monroe, who actually also was unexpected star at the time. So basically my point is, and I'll go back to Night of the Caregiver in a second, but my point is, it doesn't matter where you start. You shouldn't be afraid.
No.
You always should try something new, especially if you believe. And for me, I remember those meetings with Joe. We just finished Gunfight at Rio Bravo. And by the way, thank you very much for supporting those one. We know you loved those one and supported it a lot. So thank you very much. Thank you, Albert.
You're welcome.
But thank you. As soon as we were done, we sat down, we had a cigar, and I asked Joe, in theory, as I always say in my still broken English, like, Joe, in theory, what would you think about making a horror movie? And that's exactly what he answered to me. He answered me, Alexander, if there's a zombie in that movie, no zombie for me. I said, no, it should be something like Billy Friedkin's movies, something like Dario Argento's classic movies. And Joe, right there, he said, Alexander, Argento, Friedkin, let's do it. And that's how we did it. And talking about producing, yes, I didn't act in the movie. I just produced it, but it was an amazing experience, and it was fun. And again, it was something new and huge fun.
Yeah, and speaking of Billy Friedkin, you know, God rest his soul, we know we lost him not long ago, just recently. Eileen Dietz was phenomenal in this. I mean, I'm glad to see her back. I just saw her in another film earlier this year, and glad to see her back on screen. You know, for those who don't know, she played Pazuzu in The Exorcist. She was the demon, and here she just comes off this sweet little old lady who might.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yes.
She comes off this sweet little old lady, and yeah, she just comes off as so wonderful in this movie. You know, she just like brightens the day. What was it like working with her?
It was fantastic, and she got along with everybody, cast and crew alike, and she brought a lot of positive energy to the set, even though, not to do too much of a spoiler alert, she is instrumental in causing terrible things to happen within the storyline of the film, but she was very positive, and Natalie and she got along famously. They almost had a comedy routine between the two of them going in between setups and takes, and it was kind of funny. But she was great to work with, and what a thrill, you know. And she has had and continues to have a fantastic career, both in television and features, and she has a number of interesting stories about all kinds of people. So it was great working with her. I can't say enough, and can't wait to work with her again. And that goes for Natalie too, who really did a marvelous job in this. It's a real standout performance for her.
Yes, they all did a great job, and in my opinion, it's for Joe's credit, because as a director, and don't forget, it was his first horror film. He was still so open for them to try something new, to improvise, and it was amazing to see. And right in between takes, hearing all the stories about original Exorcist, and actually Eileen gave us books about her experience in Exorcist and about her career. I mean, she also gave us some beanies, right, and some other gifts. I mean, she's amazing. So, talking about Billy Friedkin for a second, and those great generations of directors, I think that you even have old books about them. And Joe always brings books, like Billy Friedkin's book was on his table when we were making our last Western, taken from Rio Bravo, because I think that's where you're getting all your inspiration from, right?
I don't have it in front of me. It's in another room in the house. But last week, Alexander and I did another interview, and it was the day after the passing of Billy Friedkin. And I held up Friedkin's book, which is called The Friedkin Connection. And I recommend it to any filmmaker, because he goes through film by film, and he tells you everything you need to know. And forget film school, make films and read Friedkin's book. that's the way you learn. And he really was a tremendous influence for me. And it's very difficult for a director to maintain the level of quality of his work throughout a lifetime. And you look at directors sometimes, although there are many happy exceptions, such as Scorsese, but you look at, they sometimes have difficulty maintaining their work. Not so with him. No matter what he was doing, right up until the end. Killer Joe, which was a fantastic film. And then he was directing opera, you know, on the stage. He never faltered. He will be missed, but he lives forever in my world.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. And speaking of Natalie, oh my gosh, like she needs an accolade for this movie, like hands down. She needs
Oh,
an
yeah.
award. She needs some sort of award for this because she brought, this was one of the best things I've ever seen her in. And this is right after that excellent scene with you, Alex, in Gunfight at Rio Bravo, where the two
Thank
are
you.
just talking. That scene was just so, it just felt so naturally with the chemistry. And here she is once again. She's showing she can when she's paired up with someone, she just nails it 150%.
Totally.
Thank you.
Totally.
Yes, she did. She did.
And I love that. And then even Anna was, you know, even when she's on the phone, Anna and, you know, her character, you know, it just, I don't know what it is. She's just got this charm about her, this spark, and I just hope she keeps going because she's got to keep rolling with it. She's just phenomenal in this.
Thank you very much. And you know, it's interesting because sometimes on a movie everything can go wrong, right? From the beginning, I mean, from pre-production or from some first meetings or from working on a script, and if something goes wrong on that stage, you know that all the way it will be not that easy, to say the least. But sometimes from the beginning, it just all come together. And that's exactly what I'm having with Mr. Joe Cornet on one movie to another. We had a huge fun, great custom crew on Gunfight at Rio Bravo. We had a huge fun, great custom crew on Night of the Caregiver. We had a great fun on Taken from Rio Bravo. Right now, we're getting ready to 2 more movies together. And it's just amazing. But what you just said about Natalie and Eileen and Anna and Joe, actually, and legendary Eric Roberts, you're absolutely right. So they did a great job.
Yeah.
And of course, NTP, I mean, Sam Wilkerson, he did a great job. And our editor, Cody Miller, he did a great job. But with each ship, there's a captain. So, you know, we have to applaud to this guy who was a captain on that one. And that's why I think everyone did a great job, including me as a producer.
Let's not forget the makeup.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Those makeup effects were amazing.
Maria really outdid it this time. I mean, she really, the way she created that thing that's behind
exactly
you.
Behind you right there.
Yep.
That's Maria's creation. Yes.
And it was something. And what's so funny about that young lady who played that part, Alex was usually on the set just about every night. We filmed mostly, there were mostly night shoots, almost entirely. And you take it from here, but this thing was running around. She's a very tall and very fit woman, right? But she was buried underneath all that you see behind you. So what happened?
Yeah, and like every night I was there, and basically I was meeting the monster, and I knew that the young lady who's playing the monster, she's she's a good actress and everything. And one day she came to me in a full makeup and said, Alexander, in real life, because she had all these teeth, in real life, I'm very beautiful woman, and you always, you see me like that. That's what's going on. But that hopefully at the premiere, I'll be like, look in my real life. I said, no. I said, no. At the premiere, please shows up like that, so at least everyone will recognize you. Yeah, so that was fun. But she did a great job. She did a great job for sure.
Yeah, that's quite interesting that you mentioned that, because a few months back I talked with a South African actress, Liesl Ehlers, and she did a film called Friend Request, where she plays this girl who she feels like she's been ousted, and she ends up killing herself and then coming back as this demon. And she was telling me originally, I didn't think I was going to play the demon version, and she ended up under all this makeup and everything. And she's saying like she had to learn how to walk on stilts because she was 5'2", and she's like, but she goes, I really loved putting that makeup on and playing this demon, like terrorizing the people who, who bullied me in a way. And like seeing, and then when you see her without the makeup, you're thinking, I was like, this is not the same person I saw in the movie. And it's, I love that like people are willing to do that. Like you mentioned, try something new. That's exactly what.
And probably what we should repeat compliments to all those great makeup artists out there, including our Maria Abreu and our team and everyone else, because that's where magic, starts for an audience. I mean, because monster has to be believable. Because if monster is not that scary and believable, I mean, it will take you out from the movie, and you cannot really enjoy it because this thing is wrong, this thing is wrong. But if makeup artist is great, monster is great, it's a huge fun. So big cheers for them for sure.
Exactly. So how long did production take on the film?
Because script was ready even before, it was written during the pandemic. It was my story, but Craig Hammond, great writer, he wrote the script during the pandemic. And when me and Joe started to talk about that, script was ready. And Joe had that idea about Eileen Dietz and Eric Roberts together in a movie, and Eileen was happy to do it, and Natalie joined us pretty fast. So all that process for pre-production was kind of quick, just a couple of months. Production, again, it was huge fun, but it wasn't easy because of the night shoots and a little trouble we had with little demonic things on set, which Joe will tell you. But it was less than a month because it was an independent production, but it was fun and sometimes scary. Please, Joe, take it from here.
Well, any great horror movie has its kind of creepy sort of legend about it, like some creepy thing that happened on or off set or before or after production, like for instance, The Omen, when Gregory Peck was flying to London, the airplane was struck by lightning.
In real life.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. When there were all these mishaps. And of course, there are stories about the set of The Exorcist and so forth. Well, we were filming one night with this demon thing, and all of a sudden, everything goes black, dark, the whole block. We were filming this the interiors were at a location in the Hollywood Hills, and the whole block all the way down to the bottom of the hill, power went out.
Oh man.
Can you imagine?
And we sat around for a little bit, and I said, well, let's see what happens. We wait about 45 minutes. Nothing happens. The whole block all the way down to the valley is out. I say, okay, so I just did what I could do. There's nothing I could do about this. So everybody go home. We all get in our cars and leave. And about 30 minutes later, the owner of the location sent me a text and said, the power just came on again after everyone left.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
And yes, Savannah Jensen, the actress playing the demon, did drive home that night in demon makeup.
Hopefully she wasn't stopped yet by cops.
Well, yep. I don't think she would have been stopped. I think people saw her and ran. They wouldn't be calling the cops. They'd be like, we need the Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all together, man. This is a fantastic movie, and I love that you guys are working together again. I feel like now after Gunfight at Rio Bravo in this movie, you're gonna be the new dream team.
Thank you.
for sure.
Thank you. And another one is ready, almost ready. So Taken from Rio Bravo will be completely finished in September. And we will present film at American Film Market in November for international distribution. And hopefully closer to the end of the year, we will announce premiere for Taken from Rio Bravo. And it's, again, Joe did a great job. And he did a great job, in my opinion, mixing a couple of genres. Because you saw my previous films, Albert. You saw an action films, which I made before. And we didn't have a chance to talk about Gunfight. Unfortunately, you spoke to Joe.
I think with Joe,
Yes, exactly. I couldn't make it those time. But let me just tell you a little bit about those films and about Western genre in general. Because talking about being scared, doing something new, and talking about having those geek always inside of you. Of course, it doesn't matter. I have muscles and making movies. It doesn't matter. Of course, I also have my own like fears and insecurities and all of that. And when we started to talk about Western together for the first time, again, it was 2020, I think. It was November of 2020 when we started to talk about Gunfight. I said to Joe, I mean, look at me. And Joe liked Black Rose. He liked Showdown in Manila. He liked my previous movies, but he knew I never tried Western genre. I said, Joe, I mean, with all due respect, you're doing great spaghetti Westerns, like real homage to spaghetti Westerns. But me, I mean, Russian bodybuilder in a Western, I mean, he told me, Alexander, don't worry, we will mix the genres. And that's exactly what he did with Gunfight, because there's an action film and there's like a real Western. That's exactly what we did on a bigger scale in Taken from Rio Bravo, because this film is twice bigger than Gunfight. We still have great guys from 90s action films. Don Dragon Wilson is in the movie. Cynthia Rothrock is in the movie. Matthias Hughes, I mean, unkillable kind of Matthias Hughes.
In the movie too. You know,
yes, he's in the movie.
And I've known him for a while. I've known him for a long time.
He's great. Yeah, he's great and joy to work with. And also Tatiana Neva, she is in the movie, and join me, of course. I mean, Sheriff Kelly and Ivan Turchaninov, right there. And talking about what you just said, yes, we do have a team right now, and this team is working hard, and thank you for all your support again.
No problem. Well, anyone who needs to check it out, and I would suggest you do check it out. Night of the Caregiver is now out, and you all need to see this, especially the classic horror fans who love The Exorcist and, you know, anything from William Friedkin, because you could see its Friedkin's influence in this movie, especially and including Eileen Dietz in the film as a sweet nature lady. And again, I think Natalie needs an award for this movie, because
absolutely,
she's just phenomenal. I mean, all around. This is, and I'm not taking away Joe either. Joe was great in the film as this tough detective who meets up with Eric Roberts and asking about the paranormal stuff, which was really cool. And I like that Eric made the most of his, you know, like he's not in the movie much, but he still brings it, like when he's that limited time.
He was great to work with. So great. Again, positive.
And full of stories.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. That's cool thing about working with these people you grew up with, like you grew up watching. You get to hear these stories.
Oh yeah.
Like some. Yeah. And that's why I'm glad to do stuff. Now I'm so happy to do this type of stuff, like interviewing people I like grew up watching or just recently started watching. And like, I gotta hear story. Like I get to hear like more about not just the film, but like what influenced them to start doing this. And I think that's amazing.
Well, you know, when I was playing around with this thing years ago, it never occurred to me that I would be working with people eventually, like Eric Roberts, like Eileen, like Natalie. But he just read off our cast list for our two last Westerns, all of those ladies and gentlemen. But not only that, Don Murray, you know, who was in my film Promise and had a very important role in and it was, working with the great Clu Gulager, working. He was never in one of my films, but I could certainly claim him to be a script supervisor for me, and that was the great character actor L.Q. Jones, who did, I don't know, what, 12 Peckinpah pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these folks have passed on now, but they still loom large in my life. And I never would have thought, as that 15-year-old geek, that, wow, I'm going to be working with Don Murray. Wow, I'm going to be working with the guy that was in Star 80. Wow, I'm going to be, it never occurred. Or this guy.
Yeah.
I knew who he was before I met him. I'd even seen his pictures.
Yeah.
I think it's another proof for you, and most importantly for all those guys who are watching us right now, that it's good to be a geek. It's good to have a dream. And it doesn't matter what people say or whatever. If you have a dream and have a desire, just go and get it, and fight for this. Because there's like real examples of people who achieved it. People / geeks. And, you are one of the greatest examples of that, because you're having your own show now, and you're a great example and inspiration for all of those geeks who maybe today they're a little afraid to do some things themselves.
Yeah.
But they watch you, they're watching your show, they're reading your articles, they're reading your great WorldFilmGeek website, and they get inspired. Same with people who knows now Joe's story. They know my story. So it's all possible. They should just fight for the dream, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I totally agree with that. Yeah, and that's funny you said that, because, and then like you guys said, you guys get, saw the review, you absolutely love it. Back to who I was talking about a few months ago, Liesl Ehlers, she did a short film, and I finally saw it a few months ago and before that and reviewed it, and she told me that I just read your review of my short film, and I literally teared up as I read it. It was so, like, hearing that from someone I grew up, like I started watching and getting all this feedback, like this positive feedback from guys like you and these people I interview, and because I love all movies, I give everything, I go in with an open mind. I don't always watch serious films. I love my share of goofy, crazy, over the top films. I grew up with that. I grew up as a kid in New York watching that stuff, and I never thought, well, what am I going to do? I love movies. What should I do with it? And I thought, well, why don't I write it? Why don't I become a critic? Why don't I critic?
Yeah.
Who knows? If I ever get to interview people, who knows what can come out of it? Of course, the nerves eventually would kick in, but now it's like, I got this way of doing it. I know how to interview people now, and now I feel more comfortable. It just makes things so much easier to do.
And you're having fun doing it, which is the most important thing.
Exactly.
You're having fun.
Yes.
And we all, unfortunately, there's so much of the negativity right now.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Everywhere. It's very strange time everywhere.
Exactly.
But we bring more positivity. We're having fun. We're doing what we love. We inspire people. And that's what we should continue to do. Don't you think?
I think that if you go into something and you must have a positive outlook. And we, in turn, like to work with positive people. And happily, by coincidence, or I don't know what, we have been surrounded in the last 3 films we've made together with positive thinking people. No matter what the crisis may be on set, because there's always a crisis.
It's never easy.
It's never easy.
Never.
But you work through that. And what you just said is people can learn from that, because look at you. I mean, the great Peter Bogdanovich, as a young man, you know what he was doing? He was making interviews, doing interviews with people like John Ford and Howard Hawks, and he was writing monographs for museums, for film retrospectives, and he did that. And then, of course, he became a great director, after doing that, So there's a lot to learn from this,
and I think,
to be positive.
Oh, yeah. And I think you're absolutely right that you're not afraid of word geek. You even have it, as word film geek.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not afraid of that word, Joe doesn't afraid because it's great to be a geek again. And you can be successful geek if you own website and your own show, if you own movies, if you own muscles. I mean, you can do it. It's all should be like that.
Yes, anyone can be a geek, and you know what? It's totally okay nowadays. And,
Oh, yeah.
I'm proud to say I'm very proud to be a world film geek.
Exactly. Yes, and we are as well, because we're also now World Film Geeks with you. Yes.
There you go. Exactly. Well, this has been a great chat, and as I said, guys, check out Night of the Caregiver. Also, check out Gunfight at Rio Bravo. If you haven't seen that yet, you have to see that one. As they've said, and I love the mix of spaghetti western and 90s style action. I mean, phenomenal cast, and yeah, I cannot wait to see Taken from Rio Bravo. It's already under my radar.
Get ready for it.
I'm gonna be waiting for that one, and whatever comes next from you guys, because you two are just awesome, hands down.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you again for all your support.
We
Thank you,
appreciate
Albert.
it.
All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great day, and you all take care.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.